I will ruin your poverty complex. So listen, you'd better get away from me. If you are not interested in prosperity and success and money, you don't hang around me, because I intend to ruin your poverty complex. I intend to preach poverty out of you and the abundant life into you.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Black Excellence Daily. I'm your host, Sean Croxton. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Reverend Ike wrapping up our week today. Today, the Reverend is going to talk about the prosperity rejection complex that a lot of us are struggling with. I call it the money rejection complex. I teach a whole program around this called Money Mind Academy, which will be coming up with enrollment in about 2 or 3 weeks from the day you hear this. And what we do in that program is I help people to resolve their conflicts around money. And here's what I mean by that. You might set a goal. I'm going to make $100,000 this year. But at the same time, you have these limiting beliefs about money itself, about people who have lots of money, and the idea of yourself having more money. It's like walking in 2 different directions at the same time. It's, I want to make more money, but money's bad, right? I want to make more money, but people who have lots of money, they earned it off the backs of poor people. People who have lots of money, they're miserable and unhappy and rude. I want to make more money, but if I make more money, I'm going to have to work really hard. I'm not going to be able to manage it. And so these are conflicts. And when the brain is dealing with a conflict, it doesn't move. It'll just stay still because it's like, hey, what are you doing? You want something that you really don't like? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? And so what we need to do, and this is what I help you do in Money Mind Academy, is look at those beliefs that you took on probably before the age of 7. Right? That's when, your parents were saying things about money. They were modeling certain behaviors around money, and you took them on before you had the ability to logically examine what you were taking in. Your brain was just wide open. Your subconscious mind was wide open. And all of these negative ideas and emotions and behaviors were just dropping into your subconscious, and they've been there ever since. But the problem is most of us as adults never take the time to look at those beliefs and look at those behaviors and use our logic and reasoning to come to the conclusion that 9.5 out of 10 of them make absolutely no sense at all. They don't. I think it's like module number 3 of Money Mind Academy. It's a 90-minute module, and we just break down limiting beliefs about money. And by the end of that 90 minutes, everybody goes, I can't believe I believed that stuff for my whole life. That's wild. And when you can get rid of those, making money becomes so much easier because you're walking in one direction instead of trying to walk in 2 at the same time. Reverend Ike is coming up.
This kind of prosperity, and if you please, this Christian kind of prosperity, this Bible kind of prosperity, is not just a scraping by kind of living. Listen again to the Master Jesus. I have come that you might have life, and that you might have it how? More abundantly. No matter how much prosperity you've got already, I've come that you might have more. I've come that you might have life. We're not here just to exist. A popular song says, and it says more than some of these so-called gospel songs, it says, I want to live, not merely survive. Say that. I want to live, not merely survive. So I always laugh when I hear these forums using for their subject the word survival. How are we going to survive? Survival in the 80s. Survival in the 90s. The hell with survival. I want to live. Say that. I love life, and I want to live and drink of life's fullness and take all it can give. So listen, those of you who are good Christians, why don't you just stop messing around? Why don't you just get it or quit it? Don't tell me you're a Christian when you're going along singing, it's hard to get along. I just can't hardly get along. I have come that you might have life, and that more abundantly. Oh, let me tell you, this kind of Bible prosperity is an abundant thing. It's a full thing. It's a complete thing. It's a joyous thing. It's a happy thing. It's a triumphant thing. And you know, if you've really got it, you won't even have to tell anybody you've got it. If you've really got it, everybody will see it. You'll walk down the streets, and folks who never saw you before will look at you, and they will know that there's something about you. I call this reverse evangelism, where you don't have to go twisting people's arms and beating on their doors and shoving tracts into their face trying to get them saved. You will have so much of the abundant life just bubbling out of you that folks will come to you just like a magnet and say, hey, what is that you got? Whatever it is, tell me where I can get some of it. Jesus spoke to the woman at the well, said, he that believeth in me, out of his belly shall flow rivers of water. See, every Christian should be a fountainhead in the world. A fountainhead of God, a fountainhead of good, a fountainhead of love. And I don't mean to be sectarian about it, so let me say it ecumenically. Every person who gets turned on to the presence and the power of God, infinite good, infinite love, within his being, becomes a fountainhead in the world. Out of his innermost being flows health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity. And even people who are not religious can see it and will be drawn by it. While the world may not be interested in religion, the world is interested in health and happiness. And though they may not know it, love as well. Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So get it out of your mind once and for all, any suspicion that God wants you to be poor, that God wants you to be down and out and beat down at the heels. That's about the first thing you have to clear away in your mind if you really want to be prosperous. And it can really be a job to do that, because there has been so much negative religious conditioning to that. There are people who are actually afraid to prosper. And when I get to this point, I usually tell about the wonderful lady preacher who was almost 80 years young. And she was an evangelist and pastor as well. And all of her life, she had never owned her own house. She said she was afraid that if she had too much, she wouldn't love the Lord like she should. And she didn't want anything to come between her and her love for God. So she consequently never had anything. You know, according to your faith, so be it unto you. You know, if your concept of God is that you shouldn't have anything according to your faith, so be it unto you. I know, but just don't criticize me. If my concept of God is that my Father is rich. Well, this dear, sweet lady preacher made the mistake of coming to just one of my meetings, first time, in Boston, Massachusetts. And that evening, as I was receiving the offering, I said to the people, give something special and make a special request. Make a special request while you're giving this offering this evening. And so she prayed in her heart that night. She said, now, Lord, you know that I really never have asked you for much because I just didn't want anything to come between my love for you. She says, but Lord, you know that I've got enough of living in that apartment with these people over my head making noise. And Lord, he said, now, Brother Ike just said for me to give something and ask for something special. So she said, tonight I'm going to do something that I have never done before. I'm going to ask you for something material. Lord, give me my own house. This was on a Sunday night. And so she gave that special offering, went on home, went to bed, woke up the next morning with the telephone ringing. And they called her mother, and one of her parishioners said to her, Mother, there is a beautiful new subdivision being built out here in the suburbs, and a lot of good people are moving in out there, I have been calling the members of the church, and we have decided that you ought to have one of those beautiful new houses in that beautiful new subdivision. So we're coming by to get you in a few minutes to take you out there and let you pick out the one you want. And before sundown that day, the church had contracted for her a beautiful new home. And I used to visit her off and on when I was in the area of that city. And I also called her mother. And I remember when I first went out to visit her in a beautiful new home, she also had a beautiful new Buick Electra 225 sitting in the driveway. I had ruined her. You see, I'm going to warn you right now so that you can hurry and get out of here. I will ruin your poverty complex. So listen, you'd better get away from me. If you are not interested in prosperity and success and money, you don't hang around me, because I intend to ruin your poverty complex. I intend to preach poverty out of you and the abundant life into you. So here was this beloved lady preacher, pastor, evangelist, almost 80, never had anything, and one exposure to me. So what a beautiful dark blue Buick Electra 225 that was. And sitting in the driveway of that beautiful new house. And so I walked in and I started teasing her. I said to her, I said, Mother, I see a beautiful new Buick sitting out there in your driveway. Is that Buick coming between you and the Lord? She said, no, son, that Buick is not coming between me and God. I said, Mother, this is a beautiful new house you've got here. Is this house coming between you and God? She said, no, son, this house is not coming between me and God. As a matter of fact, you know, I don't trust a religion that can't stand to have something. I mean, you know, if God can't trust you with a decent house and a decent car and some nice clothes and some money, and the necessities of life, and even some luxuries, what kind of religion do you have? I want to ask you a question, and we're going to put it on the green board, and you're going to write it on your notes. How much prosperity can your religion stand? How much money can your religion stand? So I'm going to suggest to you that if your religion can't stand much prosperity, that maybe you better trade it in. But this beloved child of God cleansed her mind of that prosperity rejection complex, and immediately the material side of prosperity begin to flow into her life, because certainly she was a person rich in love.
That was Reverend Ike wrapping up the week. Hey, before you go, I have a quick favor to ask. More of a beg, to be honest. This is how a podcast grows. A podcast grows, of course, through quality content, but also through 5-star ratings and reviews. When a show gets lots of 5-star ratings and reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts will say, oh, lots of reviews here, must be pretty good content. Let's push it up the charts. And as the show goes up the charts, more people will see it because there's more exposure. More people will hopefully listen to it, get inspired, shift their mindset, and go on to become more successful. And so in order for that to happen, I am begging you to please leave a 5-star rating and just write a quick review for the show. It can be literally one sentence. In total, it'll take about 20 to 25 seconds. We have about 65 ratings and reviews right now, more ratings than reviews. And I appreciate every single one of them. Thank you so much, including the 2-star guy who told me to hush and not talk anymore. But we need more. There are 1,000 people who listen to the show every day, which is great. 90% come from Apple Podcasts, which means 900 people Monday through Friday are listening to the show on Apple Podcasts. And 835 of them have not clicked the 5-star review button nor written a review. And I don't expect you all to do it, but it is a very, very quick and easy and impactful way to support a Black business. We talk so much about supporting Black businesses. This is the easiest way to do it. Takes 20 seconds. And so please, I beg you, leave a review, give us 5 stars. There'll be more people listening to this, and we can make a bigger impact in our community by together creating great content and also leaving 5-star reviews. And so appreciate that so much. And I will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. I'm out. Peace.